Gradual 1962 here. Today, I want to delve deep into the new collab between two of gaming's biggest horror IPs, Dead by Daylight and Five Nights at Freddy's. So join me, and let's look into everything you need to know about this chapter. During the 10th anniversary of FNAF, an announcement was made that there would be a collab with another franchise. Although many like myself speculated it would be Fortnite, go check out my video on that, it was announced that it would be Dead by Daylight. And now with the release of the chapter, we can get into everything. For this chapter, the killer we got is the animatronic, or as we know him, Springtrap. Springtrap is the main protagonist of the Five Nights at Freddy's series, and was the most requested character for DBD, so much to the point where in the past when popular FNAF YouTuber Dawko talked with the creator of FNAF, Scott Cawthon, he brought up that Springtrap and DBD was what the fans want most for a collaboration, and now in 2025 we finally got that. Springtrap has a lot to go through, so let's take a look at his design first. The design is a retooling of the FNAF 3 design to not only make it more realistic, but remove some features like one thing I enjoyed about the original, his button. But aside from that, this is a fantastic look for the famous killer. Now say you want to use a different look. Well, luckily we have plenty to choose from. There's a bloody variant of the main suit, Clown Springtrap, and Toxic Springtrap both from FNAF AR, Glitch Trap from FNAF Help Wanted, and finally, Yellow Rabbit from the film. Not only is this the first game appearance of the Yellow Rabbit, but the skin also features the likeness of Matthew Lillard, the man who brought Afton to life in the film. Matthew Lillard will also voice this version of Afton. The other versions will be voiced by PJ Haywood, except for Glitch Trap, at least from what I can tell. PJ is actually the voice actor for Springtrap in the FNAF games, and the last time he portrayed Afton in the games was FNAF AR in 2019, which means that he went 4 years without voicing Afton. And this time, PJ Haywood, although using a very similar voice, is different from his classic iteration of the character. Now, an important thing to note is that the bloody variant can only be used by prestiging in the game, from what I could find out. Now, when it comes to the various cosmetics, we actually have brief descriptions for each one that isn't the main skin. For Glitch Trap, it says, a mascot from the machine, a virtual manifestation of evil made flesh in the entity's realm. For the Yellow Rabbit, it says, as he was dragged away by his own creations, a black fog took hold and dragged him somewhere else entirely. For Clown Springtrap, it says, as the fog settled, he felt himself take on a form he did not recognize. And finally, for Toxic Springtrap, it says, he emerged from the depths of corrosive despair, radiating a newfound evil. Now, aside from those cosmetics, Springtrap brings with him a shirt that survivors can wear. And when it comes to these cosmetics, if you actually buy 6 cosmetics, that being 6 shirts, or, as what I did, buy 2 Springtrap skins, you'll actually get a free badge in the game. Now let's get into the gameplay. Springtrap has 3 perks, those being Help Wanted, Phantom Fear, and Haywire. As it says on the DBD website, here's what the perks do. Help Wanted allows you to compromise the generator, temporarily shortening your basic attack cooldowns the moment that generator is fully repaired. Thanks to your heightened mobility, you'll be able to compromise a nearly completed generator, step into a security room, and begin your next chase with a trick up your sleeve. Phantom Fear is a testament to the power of Springtrap's grotesque, fear-inducing appearance. When a nearby survivor sees you, they'll be so overcome with terror that they'll let out a scream, briefly revealing their aura in the process. Haywire significantly elevates the endgame stakes, forcing survivors to make tough decisions in a crucial moment. The moment that exit gates are fully powered, the progress will steadily decline whenever a survivor is forced to leave. They think they're so clever bringing those gates to 99%. Think again. Other than the perks, Springtrap comes with a unique ability to the game that completely changes how you play. The Security Room. The Security Room allows players to quickly traverse the map and cross long distances very fast. But there's a catch. Springtrap can use these as well, and if you encounter him, he'll immediately grab you. But thankfully, there will be cameras so you can see where Springtrap is, but only survivors can use them. But it doesn't end there, as the security rooms have power, and using too much power depletes the doors and cameras, leaving all 7 security doors useless for a while until it reboots. But Springtrap can still travel through the doors even when the power is out. Some people have wondered why there's exactly 7 doors. I don't know exactly, but I'm assuming it's a reference or Easter egg to how FNAF can have 7 nights. But how will Springtrap be able to kill the survivors? Well, he comes with a fine collection of tools at his disposal. For his main weapon, Springtrap comes with a pizza knife, but as a secondary attack, he has a fire axe that he can throw. If the axe lands in a survivor, the survivor can't heal unless the axe is pulled out. But Springtrap can actually recall the axe, and if he grabs a survivor that has an axe in them, it'll initiate a unique animation, and after that, he'll grab the survivor. For the map, we dive deep into the depths of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. The Pizzeria is a pretty good map, and it features an outside area, and of course, the Pizzeria itself. As for the Pizzeria, it's a mix of the movie and video game versions. You have the entrance and the sign of the film. Meanwhile, inside you can find various kids' drawings, Foxy's Out of Order sign, and Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica on stage. While playing the map, you'll of course want to get some kills, so when you do so, make sure to use Springtrap's Mori. In Springtrap's Mori, Afton will stab the survivor with his pizza knife and hold them up and bring them to a custom-made endoskeleton. Springtrap will shove his victim into the endo, and the endo will finish the job. To finish it off, Springtrap will jump scare the survivor. And something you'll notice is that Springtrap's Scream isn't his FNAF 3 variant, even though this uses the FNAF 3 design for the most part. Instead, it's a new scream that's more like a roar. I enjoy it. It goes with his new voice in the game, and despite bringing back PJ Haywood, the voice of Afton is completely new and unique from his original voice. Now, as a diehard FNAF fan, the one thing I'm curious about is the lore. And thankfully, there's an explanation to how my favorite killer got into the entity's world. Deep within the abandoned Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, Liam Afton ran from the ghosts of his victims. He frantically put on his beloved Spring Bonnie costume, the disguise he wore while committing his heinous crimes, to hide from the pursuing spirits. But fate had different plans for Afton. Something activated the spring locks within the Spring Bonnie costume. Metal clamped against metal, piercing the murderer and trapping him in his costume. As he screamed, the checkerboard floor rose up to meet him, and everything went black. Thus was Springtrap born, from the death of a murderer. He awoke to a familiar sound, his body a pillow of agony. The ghosts that had tormented him were gone. The walls surrounding him were decomposing, the floor beneath him falling away in moldy patches. How much time had transpired since the spring locks tore through his body and fixed him within his costume? The urge to kill lingered within him still, the thirst long left unquenched. The sound filled his ears again. Children's laughter. Were children playing in the kitchen? Springtrap rose to his feet, adjusting to his new body, and marched towards the sounds. Picked up speed as he moved. Walking turned to running. He rushed into the kitchen and found nothing. No children, no games, no laughter, just a swirling mass of black fog enveloping the far wall. Springtrap examined the fog. Curiosity tightened his grip on him. As he stared into the darkness, his assailed eyes could see shapes emerge within the fog. Who were they? It didn't matter. They were his victims now. Somehow, he knew that the hunt could go on forever. All he had to do was step into the fog. This backstory for Afton is pretty accurate to the games and puts a unique twist on this alternate take of events. As when Springtrap wakes up, he immediately goes to the sound of children. Not only is this in character for Afton, as he is the man responsible for killing the kids who possess the animatronics, but the Spring Bonnie suit itself is made to go to the sound of children, a mechanic he used to counter Springtrap in FNAF 3. As for him entering the fog, it makes sense as well. At this point, Afton had no more victims. In this universe, he wasn't taken to Fazbear's frights, and the ghosts were nowhere to be seen. With no victims nearby, Afton had to seek something new, so seeing possible new victims in the fog, all they had to do was answer the call to continue his killing spree. And an extra addition to this came in an article which says, the entity's grand design requires killers trapped in a perpetual cycle of endless violence, eliciting no shortage of horror, terror, and panic from survivors. It's no wonder that Afton found himself in the entity's sights. In many ways, he represents the perfect killer, brilliant, cruel, and void of mercy. Now, aside from this, there isn't much lore to be honest, which is a real shame. Even though this is a DLC for another game, it's the biggest DLC in DBD history, and it's the biggest collab for FNAF, so I expected more honestly. At the very least, the add-on, Freddy's hat, says, Gabriel trusted the wrong grown-up. Now he's the star of the show. On the topic of add-ons, let's get into them. There's quite a lot of them, so I'll go over them really quickly. Skip to this timestamp on screen if you just want to continue with what else was added to the game this update within the FNAF DLC. Alright, let's get through these. Faz coin. Collecting these tokens comes to the price. Upon throwing the axe, your terror radius is copied to the axe until it is reclaimed. You gain the undetectable status effect for 10 seconds. Undetectable hides the killer's aura, terror radius, and red stain. Iridescent remnant. Molten metal. In the right hand is the key to immortality. Upon moving to a security door, windows and upright pallets within 16 meters of the destination door are blocked for 8 seconds. Access panel. Gaining control of the security doors is key to getting the job done. Your axe gains the ability to travel through security doors, and will exit straight through the connected security door. Celebrate poster. The celebration lasts all night long, or until no one is left. After an axe is embedded in a survivor, both you and that survivor gain 20% haste and vault 20% faster. This effect ends if the axe is removed, or if the distance between you and the survivor exceeds 32 meters. Haste increases killer movement speed. Endo CPU. Greater computing power for greater efficiency. While within the axe's area of effect, pallets, breakable doors, and generators break 25% faster. This effect lingers for 5 seconds after leaving the area of effect. Loot bag. Open the bag and see what goodies are inside. While a survivor has an axe embedded in them, they gain the incapacitated status effect. Exit gates will be blocked for them. Incapacitated prevents survivors from healing, repairing, sabotaging, cleansing, blessing, mending, or using items. Bonnie's guitar strings. Worn strings that are off-tune and liable to snap. Unlocks potential in one aura's reading ability. While moving between security doors, the repair progress of generators can be determined by the intensity of the auras. Chica's bib. A good way to keep Mr. Cupcake from making a mess. Survivors within the axe's area of effect gain the exhausted status effect for 5 seconds. Exhausted prevents survivors from activating exhaustion perks. Foxy's hook. A pirate's hook that seems more menacing than playful. Players within the range or area of effect gain 10% haste for 6 seconds. Haste increases killer movement speed. Freddy's hat. Gabriel trusted the wrong grown-up. Now he's the star of the show. Increases the axe's weight while throwing by 100%. Football guy drawing. He only takes 10 seconds to draw. While a survivor has an axe embedded in them, any rust interactions they perform reveal the aura to you for 4 seconds. Removing the axe from themselves reveals the aura to you for 4 seconds. Office phone. He tried to leave messages as a warning. He didn't last long either. Survivors within 12 meters of a survivor with an embedded axe gain the Oblivious and, if injured, broken status effects. Oblivious prevents survivors from hearing or being affected by the killer's terror radius. Broken prevents survivors from being healed. Party hat. The party never ends, no matter how much they beg. When an axe is embedded in the environment, increases its area of effect radius to 250% over 3 seconds. Decreases the duration of the area of effect by 50%. Ripped curtain. Taken from Pirate's Cove, caught on the animatronic that lived there. When an axe hits a survivor, they gain the hemorrhage and mangled status effects for 70 seconds. Hemorrhage regresses healing progress when not healing. It increases blood trails left by the injured survivors. This lasts for a set duration or until fully healed. Mangled increases time required to heal by 25% and lasts for a set duration or until fully healed. Security guards badge. The badge comes with certain privileges for whoever carries it. When exiting a security door after teleport, gain the undetectable status effect for 50% longer. Undetectable hides the killer's aura, terror radius, and red stain. Streamers. Employees would throw them over the rafters for a quick decoration. Increases the speed at which you travel through security doors by 20%. Greasy paper plate. It sticks to everything it touches. No amount of soap can wash it off. Increase the time required for survivors to remove the axe by 10%. Help wanted ad. We all need a little help sometimes. While winding up an axe throw, see a preview of the starting trajectory. Restaurant menu. The lamination is peeling and crusty. How appetizing. Decreases the minimum time required to retrieve an axe embedded in their environment by 10%. Rotten pizza. Food poisoning is no laughing matter. Increases the duration of a killer instinct from the axe by 50%. Now, let's get into some Easter eggs. Now, there's a lot of Easter eggs, so I'll only go over some here. Firstly, in the add-ons, the security guard's badge is actually a real item you can buy, and it was used in the film as a prop. And in the Purple Guy drawing add-on, the description says, he only takes 10 seconds to draw, which is actually a reference to Purple Guy's loading screen in FNAF World. Always great to see that banger of a game get recognition. In Springtrap's animation when he cleans off his knife, he does the same movements as the yellow rabbit did in the film when cleaning off his knife. And in these promotional photos of Springtrap, he is hitting his pose from FNAF AR and the film respectively. When Springtrap is standing still, his default pose is his FNAF 3 pose, and an idle animation he has is the FNAF 3 secret screens when Afton takes off the suit's head. Speaking of animations, Springtrap has two for when he is selected in the character screen. One features him peeking at the screen like he does by the door in the FNAF 3 office, and the second is a copy of him walking by the FNAF 3 office window. There's a lot of Easter eggs in this DLC, and honestly I'll probably make a separate video looking at everything, because there's way too many to go through here. Springtrap is one of, if not the biggest character to get into Dead by Daylight. Not only is Springtrap one of the biggest killers in modern media, but he's the most popular character from Five Nights at Freddy's, and this led to an easy decision to add him to the game compared to other characters in the FNAF franchise. I can't put it into words how big of a deal this collab is for both series. This DLC was in development for over a year, and you can tell. From all the voice acting, cosmetics, the amount of content in general, it just shows. And it was actually Scott Cawthon's idea to have Matthew Lillard return for his role as the Yellow Rabbit for the game. Hopefully this will lead to Scott to collaborate with other series more often. Fortnite perhaps? But having Springtrap in this game is a big deal, and it's my favorite piece of FNAF content for 2025. Well, maybe until we get the second film. But until then, I hope you all enjoy this video, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments what you think about this DLC and if I missed anything. So there's a lot to go through and I'm sure I might have missed one or two things. But I'll see you all in Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. I gotta get my spring bonnet suit on. Go join at 62, signing off.